Okay, Charisse, this is answer to the evidence-based learning plan, or just how do we define evidence-based? I'll start with that. So I guess I would start by saying, this is a way of writing a plan, or of acknowledging that the plans that we write come from a position of research, in terms of looking around and doing the research to see what exists out there, if there are new evidence or new strategies, is there measurable or empirical ways in which we can see that evidence supports a certain type of outcome. And so when we're looking in measurable ways at trying to shift a particular outcome, we rely heavily on that. We want those we want the evidence to be independent. We don't want that to be something that's sort of tilted one direction. So as an example, we don't tend to gravitate towards the newest fad or the newest computer enhanced program, but rather I'll sit down and I'll work through them and try stuff that's new. The instructors try stuff that's new, making sure that the outcome, the strategies, are actually outcomes that work, and that that we don't just give lip service to the latest and greatest fad that's out on the market. So the other is that you want the research that's being done on a particular, say, strategy, technique, outcome, etc. You want that to be independent of the person who's designed it or who's implementing it. So if I'm trying a piece of, if I'm doing something in a plan, a learning plan, I want to make sure that I not only have tried that out, but that the instructors have, or other professors have, or other educators have, so that we aren't just, again, giving lip service to, it should work like this, or we think it'll work like this, or research says it works like this, but if we don't know that it actually does, we don't use it. So in a kind of nutshell, it's, it gives you some pretty specific insight in terms of what works and what's out there. If you're doing your research correctly, it makes teaching and education a sort of more scientifically based experience. It gives, it underscores the importance of having independent research, so that different theories and solutions and philosophies and so forth are not just preferences, but that we can actually say there's evidence that says this works or that works, and here's why, or here's how we see that working. It's also, I think, most importantly, self-correcting. So it's forgiving, meaning that evidence-based work, if the evidence shifts or changes over time, if new variables arise as other information gets incorporated in, we're going to use that to shift, the approach or the plan. It may not happen within a given learning plan, but over the course of time. And some of that is why, that speaks sort of directly to why we want empirical information. It's why we track progress. It's why we look at outcomes in measurable ways, and not just based on kind of a feeling or an affective experience. So there it is in a nutshell. Hopefully that gives you what you need, and I will follow up in writing. Okay? Take care.